The Cell is a 2000 science. Yeah, what? The Cell is a 2000 science fiction
Good start.
psychological horror film directed by Tazim Singh in his directorial debut. It stars Jenny Buttcheeks, Vince Money, and Vincent D'Onofrio. The plot has Jenny from the block in a race against time to infiltrate the mind of a chronic masturbator to find the hidden location of a yelly woman before she dies horribly of murder. The film received mixed reviews upon its release, with critics praising its visuals, direction, makeup, costumes, and D'Onofrio's performance. They did criticize its Silence of the Lambs inspired plot and an emphasis on style rather than substance and masochistic imagery. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Did they realize it was a horror film? The film was a box office success, grossing over $104 million against a $33 million budget. Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 stars, and others called it disturbing, pretentious eye candy. So, Brad, there's some really good ideas on how to trap women in this film, isn't there?
Yeah, it makes it sound so easy.
It's not that hard, though, is it?
I struggle.
Do you?
Yeah, they always fight back. I'm not a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but fight's part of it. The fight is part of it. Yeah, it always amazes me because I like horror films. When I read horror film reviews, there's always some idiot goes, "I didn't expect there to be blood." Oh.
Well, there was killing. Why have I got an erection? Yeah.
That's what they get upset about, I think, is like deep down, they know they want it. They're like excited by the blood. It's scary.
Sure. Yeah. It's kind of like I don't know what the term for it would be. What's the term for getting a boner in the cinema? So like when you're on a bus or on a train, right? It's called a traveler, right? Yeah. You're going somewhere and you get a traveler, right? So what would it be when you're in the cinema?
I don't know. I remember going to see Golden Girls, the movie, in the late 90s there, and
with Blanche and stuff.
Couldn't contain myself. Okay. Whoa, Betty White, Blanche Dubois. Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never had an unintentional boner in a cinema. Eyes wide shut, maybe awkward. I went with my brother and some mates, but intentional. You go see the Titanic with a girlfriend. Yeah, things are going to go places.
What?
What are we talking about? The Cell. Jenny from the block. In a 2-hour Tool music video.
I didn't think it was a riff-off of Silence of the Lambs, though. That sounds like a dumb comment. Like it's just tracking down a killer.
This was Inception before Inception.
Yeah. It's quite a
Go
cool
inside
idea
somebody's
for a movie.
brain. Sure.
Apparently, the guy that wrote it, he complained that the studio dumbed it down from what he originally wrote. It is a spectacular looking movie with wonderful cinematography and set design and stuff.
Visually, it's wonderful. I remember being, going to the cinema when we used to go to cinemas. What year did this motherfucker come out? 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you it's like 30 seconds ago.
I don't listen to your wiki shit. I just wait till you say my name and then I wake up again and you start talking. Where was I going with that? Yeah, going and sitting in the film and going, shit, this looks amazing. This looks like a Tool music video, right? Yeah. Visually, spectacular. Stop drinking. I can hear you slurping from fucking miles away.
I didn't drink.
Like you're swallowing to hide your erection.
No. Well, apparently there's a couple edits of this, and the Americans didn't get, that scene early on where he's hanging himself from a hook, and he's like jerking off over the corpse beneath him, and she's all bleached out white.
I didn't think that was early on.
Get all that.
Oh, I thought that was later in the film.
It's in the first act anyway.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that the Americans got an edited version of that, so they didn't get the full whacking off glory.
Well, not everybody's as open-minded as we are here in New Zealand, and the thought of somebody suspending themselves from hooks while jerking off over a bleached cadaver, it might like melt a few brains if they saw it and they weren't ready for it. I mean, that's
going
pretty.
To an R18 horror movie, you kind of want a bit of something, don't you? Like
I didn't
this
think
movie
this
kind
was
of delivers
R18.
on a bit of that. What you
Okay, I
think?
guess.
PG?
Oh no, I would have thought maybe like a I don't know what the film rating would be, but like an M, you know, not quite AO.
No, I don't know. There's a lot of you can when he lifts that girl that's been in the bleach and she's dead and lifts her up, you can see her parts.
You can see everything, huh? So that's worth an 18 rating, I suppose. I mean, if you see axe wound, 18 instantly.
Yeah, and then a guy hangs from the ceiling suspended by hooks, jerking off on you. I mean,
yeah, that's up there. That's true. All right, 18.
Yeah,
and you get
entertainment
to see
all around.
I mean, besides the bleached vagina and the hang wank, you've also got a horse being sliced into pieces and spread open. I think that's probably more disturbing than the other two scenes.
Did you? I thought that was just kind of cool.
Yeah.
All the thing I was actually, when I was doing my research, I was a little disappointed about is this Tarzan Singh guy. He was a music video director beforehand. He directed the "Losing My Religion" video for REM. Really great looking video. I thought all of the design and stuff was original for this film, but it turns out one of the sets that you're in was the set from Losing Your Religion in this film. The horse getting split apart is a painting, and a lot of the other scenes in the movie I think from what I read, like pretty much all the other scenes in the movie are inspired by paintings. When Jennifer Lopez first arrives in that world, when she first goes inside his mind, it's from a H.R. Geiger painting.
Yeah, but that's intentional, right? Because you're inside the guy's mind, and he's obviously seen those artworks, and that's what's in his brain, right? That makes perfect sense. I think that was a conscious choice on part of this director.
I was a little disappointed that he didn't come with it himself, but then like I thought about it, and your reasoning I kind of agree with. Like most of us aren't the most super genius creative people in the world, aren't they? Well, I mean, maybe our brain would be heavily inspired by the things we've seen already and just shove that in there. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And going through the memories of the person, of a killer. Could your mind be like that?
My mind would just be it'd be vintage toys and the occasional music video. That's all you're going to find in my brain, and probably and nude people, just like everybody's brain. Simple man, simple pleasures.
There'd be a porn section.
Oh yeah, but it'd be very vanilla.
The toy section would be about 10 times bigger than the porn section.
Than the porn, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But there may be some crossover in the middle there, but definitely very vanilla, Definitely very vanilla. No Brazilian
I'd have a massive guitar room. Just be full of guitars. Yeah.
Made out of corpses, bleached corpses. I feel like that scene
on a throne made of amplifiers.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
The scene until Dusk Till Dawn where all the vampires kick off, and then all of a sudden all the instruments are made out of dead bodies. That's beautiful. Instruments made out of bleached axe wounds.
Yeah. Just kind of thinking, like, if you went into my mind, you know that there used to be that thing that would say that we're supposed to think of sex every 6 seconds, and I thought I'd be lucky if I think about it every 6 days.
Man,
like if you went into my mind, There'll be it would be the guitar rooms. There'd be my plastic model room.
Oh, that saddens me. That saddens me deeply.
You heard that Norm Macdonald joke when he was talking about Harvey Weinstein? He said, I barely have consensual sex. How did this guy find time? That's what I got to think about serial killers. Is like they need to write time management books. They'd be bestsellers. Like, how do you have a job, do your things in your private life, and then have time to track down all these women and
that's true. That is absolutely true. I'm with you there, but maybe it's they're funded by some dead uncle that left them lots of money or something, so all they've got is time. But even like when I have free time, I may have downtime at work because of this motherfucking pandemic, and I'll have like a week straight of just clocking YouTube and playing guitar. You have to be very motivated to build a giant water tank and then purchase the bleach and the meat hooks, and it's just a lot of work. And who can be bothered doing that when you've got Netflix to clock? I think that's what streaming services have a lot to answer for. Like people are wasting their free time. You could be out there. No,
I have my hobbies. I don't have enough time for that.
Yeah. That's right.
Like these serial killers, again? Like they would say like a serial killer will kill someone every 6 months. It's about all the time you got for. And when they accelerate and they're doing it every week, it's like, God, where'd they get the time?
They need some downtime. They need to take some them time.
That's why I say these people need to write a time management book. It would be valuable for the rest of us. Like, they're overachievers. We need to worship these people. We need to treat them with respect.
I can see the bookshelves now. Getting It Done by Ted Bundy.
Yeah. How I fucking beheaded 40 women in 6 weeks. Like everyone would be like, wow. He could,
but wait,
if he went down a positive route, he could have been the CEO of Microsoft. Like he could have been.
So Ted Bundy and Bill Gates side by side.
These people are amazing.
The iPhone would have come out so much sooner.
Yeah.
Can you take your statement back? Your statement that serial killers are amazing. I frown upon your statement.
I think we need to treat them with the respect they deserve. Like these people are achievers. Not glorify it.
Well, in their chosen field, I suppose they are.
Yeah. How many of them get caught? They're great.
Well, I guess most of them, the major ones, right?
Yeah, but then they don't tell you where all the bodies are. Like when they get these dudes and they know, okay, we know you did 40. Are there any others? And they're like, well, I'm not telling.
Well, maybe there is, and maybe there isn't.
I gotta play a game with you. I got plenty of time.
That's for me to know and you to find out. Yeah, that's right.
And then again, if they tell you, then they lose all their attention, and
that's true. Yeah, they got to write a book and get to the end.
Yeah. It's a good-looking movie though. They're beautifully shot. Jennifer Lopez. There's a couple of butt shots in there.
She's nice to look at.
She's a lovely lady. Back with her original nose. Like she's had a few plastic surgeries since then.
So this is pre-Affleck, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they're an item at the time or it happened a little later. Or
I think they were a little later than 2000.
Together now. They're obviously meant to be together. It's true love.
Oh, are they? At the time of this recording. Yeah.
I saw an interview with Ben Affleck recently, and he's talking about his sobriety, and he's slurring his words all the way through it. Oh my God. He's an angry man too. Kind of gone off the point here. So anyway.
You have.
Water, weightlessness.
Did you find any deeper meaning in this film, Dan?
Yeah, well, I say the screenwriter said that he wrote a great film and they kind of dumbed it down. It does touch on the theme of serial killers are victims too. They're this, they were abused as children and they've grown up to just repeat that behavior. And you have the Vince Vaughn character. He comes in and says, he says that he knows there are people that were horribly abused and would never grow up to do anything like that. And it kind of hints that he was molested or abused in some way as a child. But then it doesn't get into it, does it? What do you reckon? You think that's true? They're obviously victims too. We kind of know that. That was the thing I thought with Harvey Weinstein. Like, when he's like apparently going around in his limo picking up 3 chicks a day and doing what he did with them. Was he a victim as a child? What happened with Harvey Weinstein?
Probably, but that's not an excuse for doing dumb shit. You don't blame your childhood traumas to then go and to say, oh, it's okay. I can molest all these people because I was molested. It doesn't make it okay. Sure, it sucks and it's fucked up, but it doesn't give you the right to go and do dumb shit, right?
No, well, it's still illegal. If it was done to you, it doesn't mean you can do it to someone else, obviously.
No.
Then again, it's kind of crazy when people say they get off murder because they plead insanity and prove insanity. And I'm like, what? They murdered someone and they're insane. Is that better? Like, that's got to be worse, isn't it? Like, how does that work?
Let's just bring back the electric chair for everybody. Who was the comedian that was jerking off into pot plants?
Oh, Louis C.K.
Yeah, hasn't he done a comeback special?
I think it's coming soon.
No pun intended on both our statements. Comeback special.
Louis C.K. Coming soon.
Louis C.K.
To a pot plant near you.
A pot plant near you. Yes.
No, he was more of a pest, though. He would just ask people, do you mind if I jerk off in front of you? And they'll go, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's still
years later they come back.
Behavior.
Years later they come back and say, I was intimidated.
Yeah.
Which I can understand.
Yeah, I guess. If you don't want to be in the room while a guy's beating off into a pot plant, you should probably just leave, really.
Oh, that's good advice. I didn't think of doing that last time that happened. I just stayed and watched.
When he says, do you mind if I jerk off into this pot plant? You go, I'd rather you didn't, thanks. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, at least he asked. I guess he's got manners. It's not just, you're not in there for a meeting and he's just like whipping it out and beating it into the bush. He's asking, do you mind? That's a little different.
It's being polite. I just remember thinking,
still wrong.
We got a disclaimer everything, but I remember thinking, like, when I heard about Louis C.K. jerking off into pot plants or whatever it was, I was like, I'm 44 years old. I've gone my entire life without thinking, what if I should, what would it be like if I masturbated into a pot plant? And,
I think that was just the receptacle to save the cleanup, I think. It was just a handy pot plant. I think it was more about the act of jerking off in front of whoever was in the room, right? That's where I'd go, not, oh, this pot plant's hot. Do you mind if I jerk off into this pot plant? I can't fucking contain myself. I think it was more the person in the room, right?
So it's kind of the polite thing to do rather than just spraying it all over the walls. He was totally
into
the pot
that's
plant.
It. He's a tidy man and he asked permission, but still wrong. Well, yeah, wrong. Definitely in the wrong category.
I think we're confusing women with pot plants too, because Harvey that jerked off into a pot plant. I forgot. It's all getting confused.
There's so many celebrities jerking off and molesting people. I don't know where to start. I mean, Corey Feldman. We have to talk about him at some point.
Did he get jerked off on?
I think lots of stuff went wrong with Corey, but we'll talk about the Goonies in the future, and then we can discuss it then. Yeah. It's too big That's too
Sarah
big.
Silverman said that Louis C.K. asked if he could jerk off in front of her, and and she said yeah, and then she said she just giggled and laughed while he did it.
Right.
And
So
then there are other
everybody's
people
happy.
that get traumatized by that stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So
well, that's it. That's it.
they
Hey,
said they went and had
going back
pizza
to the
afterwards.
cell, right? The
Oh yeah,
cell in all its glory. This extended Tool music video with Jennifer Lopez and a sliced up horse and a hanging jerk off guy and bleached vaginas. If you were going to go into the video store and take some off the shelf and double feature it, what would you team the cell with?
are we up to that already? Because
I'm going there.
going because I forgot to set the timer when we are first going. I started late. We're only at 9
It's feeling
minutes.
good. I think it's feeling good. We're way over 9 minutes.
Oh, I started it 9 minutes ago, but we've been going for a little while before that. I don't know how long this is. Double feature already.
I'm
I
just
got two
segueing back
choices.
from jerking off and pot plants. I'm just bringing it back in line.
I say, why not have a double feature of Jenny from the Block, J-Lo, Anaconda?
You know what's funny? We should have done it at the same time because that's what I've got for my double feature.
I got two choices in case you said, in case we did the same thing. I have another one, and that's Seven.
Oh,
so I have Seven. You do a Anaconda.
Oh, okay. Good choice. I think, Seven, it's dark, gritty. Seven's a far superior film to this one. I'll give you that. I think like The Cell is the B side, if Seven was the A side. Whereas if you put it with Anaconda, The Cell, I think The Cell would win against Anaconda, really. What else has Jenny done? Jenny's done
I was going to say The Wedding Planner.
Ooh, okay. No. What was the one she did with Affleck? Jiggly. I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
Shit was awful.
Yeah, I watched it and thought, oh, this isn't bad as they said. And then about 15 minutes in, I went, oh, I can't go any longer than this.
Yeah, it's pretty painful. Did she do Jersey Girl as well? Was that her one with
no, that was Affleck,
Kevin
wasn't
Smith?
It?
Yeah, but I think she was in it.
Was she? Because that was quite a good movie.
Jersey Girl. Oh, she's not coming up in the cast list, so maybe I'm mistaken.
That was before Kevin Smith completely flew off the rails and just makes complete abysmal crap now.
For some reason, I still think she's not in this. Nope, she's not. No, okay, not in Jersey Girl. Maybe she has a cameo.
Yeah. She got that film Hustlers. I've been keen to watch.
Too. All right,
she's still in shape.
Right.
Still rocking.
She done any music lately? Remember her music career?
Hey, she's still going. I had a little.
Is that her? Yeah, that's her.
That sounded like Color Me Bad.
Oh, that's my voice, bro. Straight out of Color Me Bad.
Falsetto.
What did they do? I want to sex you up. That was, yes. Oh, we're doing their album next week.
Beautiful lyrics, heartfelt, thoughtful.
And
sharp dresses, good-looking men.
Sharp haircuts too, just on point. Just shoulder pads.
We got a young Vince Vaughn in this one, looking slim. He's a big boy now.
Wow, he made some money. He could buy himself dinners, right? Oh, cats on my lap. That's not going to go well. Ow.
How's the acting in this? Vince Vaughn's fine. J-Lo's fine. She's a good-looking lady.
You know what? I think the acting is secondary to the visuals on this one.
What about DeAndre, though? He was a brilliant actor.
You buy him as a bleaching serial killer?
I think he's a terrific actor. I think he's it's surprised he's never become a hero, to be honest. He's a fantastic actor.
You just banged up your microphone there for a second.
Well,
no, solid B grade. But, I mean, he's B grade. Vince Vaughn is, I'd call him A grade for a little while, comedian-wise. He had some dodgeball and Old School and Wedding Crashers, A-grade comedy. And then Jenny, he did have a streak. Him and some other guys in there. What was Owen Wilson and those guys pulled it off. But Jenny, I think she stayed pretty firmly in the B/C grade of acting. Really,
I think she's got a bigger musical career than we can really appreciate. So look at the pictures online. She's playing enormous stadiums. Like a lot of those like those Latin singers, like they got that huge South American audience. Like,
oh yeah,
know how many records they're selling and the concerts.
Yeah, it's just population based.
Yeah, like if you're in that world, she's probably the big dog,
Yeah.
Whereas we don't really follow that kind of world. Yeah.
Nah, no, we're just white cis males. I have a very serious question to ask you, Dan. And this film is deep, and it's got deep themes about male empowerment and mental illness.
Yeah,
it does
mental illness.
But who would you fight and fart on?
Which characters are you talking about, Brad?
Yeah. Who would you fuck? Who would you fight? And who would you fart on?
Well, this is a problem when you've. I have to pick. There's a lot of male actors in films, aren't there?
There are.
You think of it that way.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, you just have to, take one for the team.
Well, I had sex with Dwayne Johnson last time, didn't I? So I'm going to pick a girl this time.
Just to keep it fresh?
Yeah. Okay, so Jenny from the block.
Jenny's getting
the D. Right. She's getting the D.
All right. Don't think about it every 6 seconds. Who are you fighting?
I'm not sure what the name of the character is, but played by the actor Jake Weber. He's a British man. Does an excellent American accent. Is the blonde-haired detective with Vince Vaughn.
You're going to punch. Just going to punch the British guy. Yeah, sure.
I'm going to fight him because I think I can get away with it. Vaughn is huge now. Like, have you seen that Cell Block 13? Like, he's a brawler.
No,
he's a killer.
He's a brawler.
I'm going to fight him.
You're not fighting him. All right.
I'll fart on him and try and run away very fast.
All right. So you're farting on Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, in comparison, again, we're on the same page. Just, for fucking, it's a no-brainer. It's a gimme. It's a pass. It's a mulligan. It's Jenny from the block, right? No white-blooded white male is going to say, no, I'm fucking Jenny. All right. So J-Lo, for me, also gets the D. Fighting, I'm going to fight the sliced up horse meat, just like Rocky and Rocky 3.
Is that a character or a prop?
I can fight whatever I like, and I'm farting on D'Onofrio while he's on the meat hooks. I'm going to be below him, and I'm just going to fart upwards. Just going to get him while he's on the meat hooks.
I was just thinking I should have farted on the little kid or the dead corpse lady. That would have been
the bleached lady.
No, I'll fart on the bleached lady and I'll fight the little kid. That's a better decision.
You're mixing it up. Okay. Or you could go and fart in the water tank because they always smell worse when there's water around, right? Really, really get it in there and into the pores, that lady that's stuck in the tank.
So apparently
on that high note,
that bug that went in his ear when he was a kid and caused the schizophrenia, apparently that was all made up for the movie too. That's a little side note. We'll flip back a section. We talked about the visual part of it. I think the best shot in the film for me is when he's like the white beast and he's walking down and he's got the
I don't know whether you'd call them curtains, whatever his cape was, hanging back up behind him, and he walks down the stairs. I thought that was the banger moment. I thought that was an inspired shot.
Yeah, that looked awesome. I think they call him King something. Whatever the name of the characters was.
Right.
Yeah, it was
it's dead air, everybody. It's dead air from Dan. Have you passed out? Oh,
yeah,
is his microphone
no,
gone?
I had here about the
don't.
artwork, but it doesn't say which
There we
scene belonged to which artist. So
You know what the key thing about doing a podcast is that we're slowly going to learn is we can't have any dead air.
The falling glass panels was inspired by the works of British artist Damien Hirst. So you can look that up now. Damien
Very
Hirst.
good.
Or the horsey
Damien
scene.
Hirst. He is now getting royalties because we've mentioned his name.
And
Way
you know
to go,
those red suits they wore when they went into the dream world, when they were suspending themselves from hooks.
Looked like muscle tissue.
Yeah, that was Tarzan Singh watched Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola, and he's got that muscle red armor like that.
Yeah,
went to that same artist and said, "Can you do the exact same thing in this movie?" And they said, "Okay." So it's the same armor, and
there you go.
That a person who did that is an Asian woman, and she also did all the costume design for everything else in the film too.
Magical.
It was very inventive looking.
How do you rate this film, Dan?
Well, I was going to ask, did you just enjoy the film? Like it?
I enjoyed the overall feel, I guess, was entertaining. For a film at that time, the 2000s, you didn't have to have too much content, as in, it was very fit the theme of the time, the sevens, it was the vibe in the cinema at the time, and the films that were getting released. Thrillers were big. People wanted to scare. We had the I Know What You Did Last Summers and all that sort of stuff, Screams, and this was kind of a left-hand turn from that, but still in the mainstream. Yeah, it didn't do well, I don't think, at the box office. I remember it sort of just coming and disappearing.
No, I told you at the beginning it made $104 million against a $33 million budget.
Look, they made money, but not enough to make a sequel trilogy or anything, right? Man, why am I scoffing? You just said it made $70 million. That's a lot of fucking profit right there.
It's more than you've ever done in your entire life. They did it 6 weeks. Is.
Don't remind me. 41.
J-Lo is shaking her head going, what a twat. I know she listens.
She's not.
Sorry, J-Lo.
Shaking her head. She's like twerking or whatever it is the kids do these days. She's clapping her butt cheeks together in celebration at my failures. I enjoyed it. All right. It's not a film I would revisit on the regular. It's probably something you could watch every, 5 or 10 years just to revisit. But no, it was never one that I'd buy and put on my DVD shelf, right? You remember back in the day when a film was so good, when you watched it, you're like, I've got to get the DVD. This one I wouldn't purchase.
Wow. I'd say it's not the A grades, but it's a bloody good B movie.
For sure.
It's a bloody good. Yeah, it's worth your time. I'd buy it on DVD if people did that.
Would you? All right.
Oh, it's a stunning movie. It's fun visuals. I'd rewatch it time and time again. Yeah, every now and then I'd revisit this film. It's really good fun. All right. Solid entertainment.
All right then. If you had to put hooks in your back and you had 10 holes in your back, how many hooks would you put in?
Can I stop you there? So on IMDb, the cold-hearted bastard. Shut up. On IMDb, the cold-hearted bastards over there have only given this a 6.4 out of 10. Ridiculous. Yeah. We got someone said they gave it a 9. Another serial killer movie with unique killer visuals. Someone gave it an 8. It offers nothing new, and they gave it 8. And then they set it off as nothing new. People are ridiculous.
Sounds like one of my reviews.
5, fantastic visuals, but very sordid, unpleasant story. This is one of those idiots I'm talking about. Fantastic visuals, but it's a horror movie and it's got a sordid story. Like, what do you fucking expect? 4, a flawed but unforgettable fantasy that might keep you wired. 4. For fuck's sake. They are 4, but unforgettable fantasy that might keep you wired. What the fuck is wrong with people? Okay. So what are you were saying some nonsense?
Meat hooks in your back. How many are you putting in there out of 10?
I wrote down how many wanks over a bleach white corpse would you
That's what I was just I was about to throw that out there and I thought, nah, that's probably going too far, but all right. How many?
Oh, it is going too far. Let's take that back. Don't listen to that, audience.
I mean, you're only going to get one wank over the bleach white corpse. How many spurts are you putting on there, I suppose?
I could easily get, I reckon if I was vigorous, I could get eight wanks in out of the possible 10. I reckon I could do it. 8 out of 10.
All right.
I enjoyed it. Good film.
Because of that scale, I'm only going to be able to give it a 1 out of 10 because I just don't have that kind of stamina or endurance. So it's a 1 out of 10.
If you're in an imaginary
racing
world,
system,
if you were inside your fantasy dream world where you could,
as
you wanted.
All right. Well, now you've changed the ruling. So, man, unlimited wanks. See, that could go the wrong way. I could score it too highly. Yeah, look, I'm just going to I'll give it a 6. I'll just, just a little bit raw. 6 is enough.
I feel deflated and let down. Like
a corpse.
Are they working hard enough for you? I mean, they're trapping women, they're putting them in water-filled boxes, they're going into dream worlds, they've got purple curtains on the world, and you're like, 6.
It was hollow. It looked grand, but it was a hollow film. What would please me? I don't know.
They had a muscle building. They had a muscle building lady walking around. They had a guy suspending himself from the ceiling with
That's right.
hooks, and you only give it a 6. And we watched Matrix Resurrections the other night.
Oh, it's the one if ever I've seen one.
Doesn't that make this film look like Picasso?
The fact that you've brought up Resurrections into this, my penis is now flaccid and unusable thanks to that film. Because we all need vaginas to succeed.
You got J-Lo bending over and looking in a fridge, and you can only manage a 6.
Yeah, it's just 6.
That's a 5 by itself. That's an 7 by itself.
J-Lo's not top tier for me. I even consider myself an ass man, and J-Lo's just it just isn't to it. I don't know why. Maybe I just like a bit more petite. We don't need to get into the ins and outs of what I enjoy, but J-Lo's not it. I'm sorry.
I feel like they made this movie for me, like seeing the world from my perspective, like giving a sympathetic view of psycho killers.
Oh, right.
Masturbators. Like this film was made for us.
It's curious. How many women do you have in your basement at the moment, Dan?
Women?
Oh, sorry. I forgot you'd changed tack to the left a little bit.
Yeah. You assumed.
And on that note, I think we need to end it before the police are called.
All right.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck with your serial killing and jerking off into pot plants. Just
a good film.
Keep it manageable.
Yeah, don't get caught, people. Don't get caught.
Don't get caught. Life lessons.